All right. Are we ready to go?
Yep.
The time is now 7:02 p.m. and the meeting is hereby a.m. Excuse me. The time is 7:02 a.m. and this meeting is hereby called to order. We have the presence of a quorum and this meeting has been duly called and notice of the meeting has been posted for the time and manner required by law. Do I have a motion?
Yes. I move that the board approve the order of a special election to fill the unexpired term of position 5 due to a vacancy to be conducted May 4th, 2019 as presented.
I second.
We have a motion by Mr. Rosenthal and a second by Mrs. Helliger. Do we have discussion? Hearing none.
No, I have something. You can't hear me. You can't see me, Jason.
What? I can't. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So yes, I actually think this is a good idea for us to, because of the time frame, for us to put this on the ballot for May. This kind of overlaps with our current time frame that we have right now with the general election, and I think this would be a more prudent way for us to get someone onto the board and let the people have an opportunity to choose who's on the board. So I would support this measure.
I agree, Addie.
Thank you, Mrs. Helliger and Mr. Rice. Do we have anyone that wants to make a comment?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Mrs. James.
So I have a question actually for Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris, so if we put this place on the ballot, I have a question about who can file to run for it and what the time frame for that is. Can you tell us how that works?
Yeah, so the opening for filing will be today because the administration, just in case you decided to move forward and approve placing the special election on the May 4th ballot, has opened the window for today. It extends longer than the February 15th deadline for the regular election, but I apologize as I sit here, I can't remember how much longer. Oh, no.
March.
I believe it's March.
It's March. It is this day. June.
I believe it's February 23rd, it looks like. So there's an additional week's amount of time to file for the vacancy. Anybody who is of mentally sound mind over the age of 18 and lives within the district for position 5 can submit their name and application for the position.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in position 5 is on the east side of the district. So
anyone on the east side.
Okay.
That resides on the east side.
But they can't. I've forgotten what position number Dave is. I guess 7. But so a person couldn't file to run against Dave and file in this position. You can't file for 2 spots.
That's correct.
So I have a question then to that, as a follow-up, Mr. Burdine.
Okay, go ahead, Mrs. Helliger. I assume Mrs. James is done.
Yes, sir.
So to follow up on her question around can they file for both positions, now that we're opening up another position available on the east side, I know that we've had people to file for position 7. Can they change from filing from position 7 to position 5? Can they withdraw their name from 7 and file for position 5?
I believe that they can. They would have to withdraw their name for position 7 and then resubmit an application for position 5. And I want to correct what I said. The deadline for filing for position 5 is March 4th.
Mr. Bredeen, I have a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Rice.
Isn't position 5, isn't that the at-large position, or am I mistaken?
I don't think it's the at-large position, Mr. Wright.
No, I'm the at-large position, Jim, position
Oh,
4.
you're the at-large. Okay. Very well. Thank you.
Any other questions? I can see y'all, but it's very small, so I just wanted to make sure. Mrs. Tolsan?
I just had a comment. So I'm going to support the measure, but for the benefit of the community and others who have seen fit to send us letters about this issue, I just wanted to make a statement that this position did not officially become available until December 31st. And so this board didn't even have an opportunity to have this conversation until January. And when we had the conversation, we made the decision. So I know there was a lot of confusion in the community about how this works and what the law says. And so I just wanted to make it clear that at the first opportunity, the board had the conversation and put this, called this meeting to have this conversation. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Mrs. Tolsan. Does anyone else have a question before I ask a quick question? I'm hearing none. So my clarifying question, Mr. Rick, if the filing deadline is extended to March, you said March the 3rd or 4th, did I hear you right?
March 4th.
March 4th, but the election day still remains the same as the other two?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. All right, do we have any other discussion? Hearing none, please vote by hand.
Mr. Burdine, the board members present will be voting in the normal manner, but you and Mr. Rice can do it by show of hands.
Okay. All right. I can't see the voting board, so someone could help me out with that. Motion passes.
Yeah, all board members present voted in support of the motion.
All right, motion passes.
Motion to
May I
adjourn.
have a motion?
I have a comment real quick, Mr. Burdine.
Go ahead, Mrs. Helliger.
To follow up on what something Kristen said, now that the vote has passed, I would like to say to this board that I think it shows how much we put this as a priority for us to be here at 7 o'clock this morning. I know you all are traveling, and I appreciate you, Mr. Burdine and Mr. Rice, for joining us from your remote locations, and everyone here locally to showing up at the boardroom at 7 o'clock in the morning. And thanks to my kids for hopefully he got to school on time this morning. But I just wanted to say that. So I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We are now adjourned.
Have a great day.
Yep, you too. Thank you. Bye-bye. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks for being there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Dr. Rodriguez.